Next up, Julie Benz. Next, Desmond Harrington. Next up, David Zayas. And last but not least, Eric T. All right, so how are you guys doing over there? So before this panel started, I got a little bit of information on Thursday, Wednesday, that one of the panelists is not fully healthy. Does anybody want to raise their hand as to who it is? So, Julie, why don't you tell us what your ailment, your injury is?
Old age. No, I have a broken rib.
So now here's the thing, this story gets better. So we get here and Julie says to me, she's like, I'm not the only one with a broken rib. I think another one of our castmates came here with a broken rib. Does somebody else want to raise their hand? You might have a broken rib?
I got a broken rib. I had a fight with Julie Benz, and that's what happened.
So then,
I have a broken rib too.
So after this, it was decided that everybody on this cast has to get a broken rib. So what's going to happen? How's this going to work?
I'm just going to hug everyone really tight and break their ribs.
Jennifer, are you in agreement with this? David said that Eric, he was going to break his rib in the nicest way possible.
I love David, it's all good.
So how have you guys enjoyed your time so far at Scaradise? Have you guys enjoyed this crowd? What do you think about this crowd up here? Tough crowd. Oh, best.
Crowd.
All right, so you guys are in Florida now. The original season for Dexter was set in Miami. But then, for whatever reason, you guys had to go elsewhere that wasn't Florida and film it and pretend it's Florida. What did you guys think about the transition of going from actual Florida to fake Florida for the rest of your seasons?
Well, it was kind of tough in the beginning because we did like the first couple episodes in Florida, and with the humidity and everything, to recreate that back in LA, they would literally take water bottles and like just spray our faces, which is awful.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
It was hurricane season or something when we did the pilot, and that's why we couldn't get insurance to cover us to shoot in Florida. That's why they took us to LA. I'm sure everybody was wondering.
I wasn't there in season 1. Do you guys want me to talk to you a little bit? Yeah? Okay. I'll be back around when it gets time. Okay.
Miami was so bright, but I found that what was it, Long Beach? It was the closest. Still wasn't all the way looking like Miami, but yeah.
So Jen, we're gonna jump right into this. Deb and the Ice Truck Killer. When you first read the script that said the main villain of season 1 was gonna propose to you and then reveal himself, making you the main potential victim in season 1, what was your take on this? Were you like, wow, this is a cool twist? Or you're like, man, don't kill me off right now? I said, what was your take on that being the twist? He was going to propose and then possibly kill you.
Well, I had read the book, so I wasn't terribly surprised that he was going to have a twist, you know. But, you know, it's great when you're doing, I feel like a lot of movies nowadays, everybody's just sort of posing and looking pretty and implying a certain feeling. So one thing I really liked about our show is it was really raw. Like, they really asked you to have real emotions and a real journey on camera, and I appreciated the task, you know? So that was good.
So Eric.
Yes?
There's a phrase that has become synonymous with you as a human being. Do you think we're going to be able to make it through this entire panel without someone uttering that?
No, I think we can. I can just do it now.
Okay, do you want this? Do you want the crowd to do it for you?
No, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it? Okay, I'll let you do this. You guys ready? Ready for this live performance?
La Passion.
Oh, is that what you guys were looking for?
Well, that was a surprise, motherfucker.
So Eric, sir, this has become a part of your life. I am sure that no matter where you go, people are trying to be like creative and be like, hey, what if I surprise this guy by saying this? What is the most absurd place that somebody has tried to surprise you with your lie?
I'm not going to tell you the most absurd place, but I will tell you where I hear it most frequently.
Okay, where's that?
Costco. And I really don't appreciate it, I'm telling you the truth. If you see me in Costco, don't come up behind me while I'm getting like water and say, surprise, motherfucker. Right? Because I'm not thinking Dexter. I'm thinking, okay, so what we doing?
But it's like a wrestler. Every time a wrestler walks into a room, their music plays for you. Every time you walk down an aisle, surprise!
It's almost as if I have never heard it before when you guys come to me. I've heard it a couple of times, you know? But I tell you, I do appreciate it. I mean, I appreciate the fact that there's a tagline. I appreciate the fact that people enjoy jokes the way they do. And the memes and shit, I love it. I love it. Thank you. So with that in mind, I would say, surprise, motherfucker.
All right, so David, you guys were all detectives at Miami Metro, unknowingly working beside a serial killer. How likely do you think that is in the real world right now, in your opinion, that there could be a serial killer working at a PD somewhere?
And maybe one in every big city.
Just one in every big city, so very likely.
Yeah, over 500,000 population. There's
Desmond,
at least one.
Desmond, what do you think about that? Desmond, do you think that number is too high or too low?
One in every city?
One in every city. That's what David thinks.
You know, yeah. He's telling me to say yes, so yeah. You know.
I think it's because you just don't want him to break your rib, right?
Yeah, you know, like, why not?
Okay, so for those that appear in Dexter First Blood, how do you feel about the way they cast your younger self? Did you have any interactions, any training with those actors to help them capture the essence of what your character is?
Original Sin, right?
Or First Blood, both First Blood?
That's what I meant, original sin. I'm sorry.
Original Sin.
Surprise, I said the wrong thing. Did you have any interactions with your younger selves and those to try and help them with the character?
I knew Luis Martinez who in Dexter Original Sin. I was never as good looking as that guy, but I appreciated the fact that very good actor. He's a very good guy. I've known him since he was like 19 years old.
I went to college with him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I played his love interest on the show.
I went to college with him.
I played a love interest on the show.
So Julie, got a question for you that's kind of fun with you being in Florida. So your character is well known for being a Florida Panthers fan. How much would she the season tickets to the Florida Panthers, that's how much would she love the fact that the Florida Panthers are now hockey dynamite, hockey powerhouse?
She loves it. It's so exciting. It's amazing. Go sports.
So listen, I've got a ton of stuff up here. We could talk about a lot of things up here. But as you can see, when we've got a large cast, it's very difficult to get to a lot of audience questions. For this panel, I want to be a little bit different. And I want to try to get to as many of your questions as we can. So as you see, the mic is not out here on the stand. That's because the person that's dressed like me but is 1/3 the size of me, Steph, is out there. Steph, where are you at? There she is. So Steph has the mic, so raise your hands and keep your hands in there. Steph is gonna randomly walk around. Don't do the ooh, Mr. Cotter thing because that's not gonna help the situation. She's gonna randomly pick on some people to ask some questions and get your questions answered. All right, up there, so you go into the person in the stroller? No, not the stroller? Okay. What's your name, my man?
Hi, I'm Jack. Nice
Jack.
to meet you guys.
Jack?
All right, what's your question, Jack?
So, a lot of you, unfortunately, are dead in the Dexter universe.
Hey, spoiler alert.
Sorry. Maybe. So, my question is, the show will inevitably end as a whole, despite the many spin-offs that will come to a close. And a lot of you have died directly or indirectly because of Dexter's actions. what do you feel is a fitting ending for the show and for Dexter as a whole?
So like, a lot of people didn't understand the original ending, and I know everybody fucking hated it, right? So the original ending was this guy who, his whole thing was that he wanted to become a real human being, interact, have a wife, have kids, all the blah. And essentially, he got put into fucking hell. He was left completely by himself as a lumberjack, or whatever the fuck it was, in the middle of nowhere, and like, he no longer had access to like bringing the donuts in and being this, there was no more pretending, and he was completely alone. Didn't really, I guess, go over with fans. I get it, don't worry about it, but there's shows that I hate the fucking ending to, so. I also curse, sorry about that, children. Yeah, I mean, a fitting end to the show would be some, I don't know, whatever form of truth that actually happens to somebody, because we're all watching it, we're all watching it. Yeah, we're all watching it, enjoying this guy who, you know, is essentially committing a lot of fucking crimes, albeit maybe these people are deserving, but there's a price for that shit. So, anyway, there you go. That was a lot. Sorry, that was a lot.
And let me say this about that. You know, finales are hard, period. Very seldom does the audience want to separate from the show, right? Even it's the season finale, it's easy to kind of go, oh, that didn't work, because it's the grief. You don't want to lose the show. You don't want to lose the characters. So, finales are hard, period. We'll see what happens. And sometimes you're going to hit the mark, and sometimes you're not. Personally, I think you surrender the show to the audience. You surrender the show to the fans. And it's for you all to make of it what you make of it. There are writers in the room who create these ideas, and it may land, it may not land. So give us some grace, y'all.
Good stuff, Steph. Where you at? You had your next question? Oh, she's over here. Next question. Keep your hands up, everybody. That way she can go in on. Pick your random one.
Hi, my name is Ariana. My question is for David. How did it feel finding out that you were gonna die?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, it really made a lot of sense to me. It was any other, with the storyline that happened in Resurrection, any other outcome kind of would have been a cop-out, in my opinion. I think they gave Angel Batista a focus and a charge to do what he's always done the previous 10 years, is just be honest and be straightforward. And so you hear all this thing about, oh, why didn't he join forces with that? That's not who Batista was. He never was that. As soon as he found out the truth, he would, knowing the consequences that might happen. So I thought the ending was fitting for Batista.
Good stuff. Okay, so Steph, you're over here now. Who do you got for a question?
My question is for Desmond. There was a moment, and some of us may forget about it, some may remember, there was a moment where Deb actually admitted to you that she killed LaGuardia. Is that, in your opinion? Yeah. She was in a moment of panic, drugs, alcohol, just guilt, and she admitted it to him, and he took her to a room and wouldn't let anybody know, interview room, and let Dexter in, and so it is technically out there, even though you're gone and other people are. She killed LaGuardia, and you know it. What do you think? Is that going to come back up?
I see no evil, I hear no evil. That's been the character's part of the show. Yeah, that's a moral ambiguity within him. So.
Deb, do you think your character regrets actually telling him that? Do you think your character actually regrets giving him that information?
I think Deb has a lot of regrets, but none that are related to Quinn.
Sandy, I love you.
All right, Steph, what's the next question we have out there? right down the middle.
Hello, my name is Kevin. So this is kind of for everyone, but also directed towards Julie. But in Resurrection, everyone kind of comes back except for Julie, and there's the whole dream sequence where everyone that has already died is brought back, and Julie wasn't there. Is it because Rita never knew the real Dexter? Like, do we think we might see a return of Rita, whether it's a dream sequence or maybe a flashback?
Listen, I have no fucking idea. I'm sorry. If they, I don't watch the show, so yeah, don't be surprised. I don't watch shows after I've been on them because the magic is ruined for me. So it's not personal. It's just I haven't watched it, and I don't know. I mean, I feel that if the writers felt that bringing Rita back would make sense and would move the story in a direction that they needed it to, and they asked me to, I would go back. So, but as far as like why I wasn't in the dream sequence, I have no idea. Who was in the dream sequence? Like, I have no clue. So, sorry.
All right, where was the next question at, Steph? What you got? Here we go. She's over here.
I'm Malik. I had a question for Desmond, actually. So I'm curious for the next part, and that's everybody's question. Because of the kind of brother-to-brother relationship between Batista and Quinn, do you think, Quinn might be curious why Batista kind of just went off on his own and go look into that, and we may see more Quinn?
So first of all, I can tell you, so maybe some of you, I don't know. You don't know if you're coming back until they open the writer's room and all that kind of stuff. So first of all, I can fix that answer. But I obviously would be curious about this is someone who I love. He was my partner, He's dead. That's going to be something that I'm for sure going to look into. It depends on. It would be too obvious for me to just launch into it and then I end up, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? To make it interesting, I don't know how they would do that, but yeah, I think I'd be very curious what happens. Yeah,
I love you, Dave.
I love you too.
I love you, David.
By the way, thank you to all you guys. This is the first time I've ever done one of these things, and you guys are great.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Steph, where's the next question?
Hello, my name is Jeremiah. I was just going to ask all of you guys, what was your favorite part about filming the show, if you had a favorite part?
My favorite part was working with all of these amazing, wonderful people. It really was a dream job for me, being able to work with someone as extraordinary as Michael C. Hall, and Jennifer, and Desmond, and David, and Lauren, and Eric, and just CS, and James. It really was just an amazing group of actors to work with and go to work with every day. So I'm gonna say the actors.
Amen.
I was super green. I had done, White Chicks, and it was but I didn't. I remembered my very first day. We were in Dexter's apartment, and Michael was helping me hit marks and understand what the lingo was. And it was honestly, it felt kind of perfect because Deb was so green in her job too, and I just got to evolve with her. And by the end of it, it just felt like a well-oiled machine, and I learned a lot on it. So it was an education, and I'm grateful for that.
For me, in a specific answer, it was working with Jennifer, obviously, having the relationship that we kind of evolved into, and then obviously working with David. We did a lot of funny shit together, smoking joints. Yeah. And then, with her, I was actually just talking to her about the scene where she's like, well, you mumble a lot when you speak, and they were just, I don't know, they're beautiful scenes, and I loved working with these two. Michael, not so much. I'm kidding. It's the best.
So Steph, go ahead and hold the next question. We're going to get to you. But Eric, I want to make sure that we keep this covered here on that. So, when you're a prison in the Capitol, your conversations with Dexter, do you think that the character really truly meant those things, or do you think he was using cop psychological speak just to try to get on Dexter's good side, so maybe he wasn't going to die?
I think that it's a combination of both. I think for the first time they saw each other's humanity. I think a couple of people I've spoken to out here about this. That's the first time that Dokes called him Dexter. It's the first time Dexter called him James, right? At some point when he says, oh, you know, turn yourself in, he says, well, actually, Dexter says he thinks he will turn himself in. And I say to him, I'll go with you. Now, of course, I'm trying to get the fuck out of the cage, let's be for real, right? But I think there was some simpatico for the first time they saw each other's humanity. And he understood. I mean, Dokes watched him kill somebody. And Dokes also knew his history. He knew about Harry. He knew all that he had, you know, he'd gone through. He learned the secret to some degree. So I think they did see each other, man. But believe me, I wanted to get out that damn cage.
I was going to say, do you think that in your mind, if you could go like, man, maybe I wish that they would have reconsidered, gave Dokes a way to get out, maybe the next season was going to just be Dokes-centric?
No, listen, at some point, when I was told that I was going to die, I understood why. Dokes could not go 5 seasons saying, I'm watching you, motherfucker, and not find something, right? So he had to, I mean, innately he had to be who he was. Just like with David, you get to the point, if you're really that cop and you're that guy, you have to find something, you know?
All right, Steph, where are you at with that next question? Here we go, over here on the floor.
Hi, I'm Angie. So this one's for Julie, really. The most devastating death for me, I know all main characters died, but yours was the most devastating death. How was that for you doing that scene and like the aftermath of knowing that was the end for you?
It was most devastating for me. I only found out at the last minute that that was going to happen. I was incredibly sad. I felt like I had let Rita down, that maybe had I advocated more for Rita in the writer's room, maybe if I had presented some ideas to them, because let's be honest, season 3 and season 4 of Rita was a little silly, and I felt that as an actress, but I let it slide, and I felt like I had really let her down, and I was absolutely devastated. Now on the day of filming, my wonderful, wonderful husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, set up a little surprise party for me in my trailer, and he decorated it with like tombstones and all sorts of fun stuff. And because that was the only scene I was shooting that day, which was to play dead in a bathtub, I was doing tequila shots in my trailer. So I made a celebration out of it. But it was hard. I mean, I went through a mourning period where I had to grieve the loss of the show, grieve the character, grieve the fact that I was not invited to dinner. And when I say not invited to dinner, meaning like not being able to go to work with these amazing people that I had grown to love and enjoyed working with so much. And it was really hard to go through. I mean, I had to go back to therapy to process it. So, but it just shows you like I loved playing Rita. I loved her. So, and
it was awful for all of us.
Yeah.
It was awful for all of us, and it was a surprise to all of us. So and Julie is a light. She's like the heartbeat of the show, and also the heartbeat of the set. So it was a major, major loss.
It was really hard. It's still hard. So.
All right, where you got stuck with this next question?
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and my question to everyone is, are there any plot points in the series that you wish you could change? It doesn't have to be your own characters.
I've got one. Can you guess? When they said that the adopted brother was her new love interest?
For me, obviously, you know, I would have liked to have found out, like, I would have liked to have explored what would have happened if Rita had found out about Dexter before she died. You know, I would have liked to have explored that moment.
I love every bit of it. It's not change anything. Not knowing that the person you're working with day in and day out was who he was. It made me say, well, it's a little insecure about Batista and his abilities to, you know, ultimately, I'm glad that I didn't find out. It would have, I think, Resurrection would have been maybe in for me, you know. So it's yeah. That I would want to change that. Maybe I'm more interested in the homicides that I was investigating and how, you know, a connection, and especially in that last season 8 when I saw what Dexter did in the video. But, you know, what do I know? The writers are great, they're gonna decide what they're gonna do, and my job as an actor is just to perform it and try to make it as real and as truthful as possible.
And I think for me, I wouldn't say that there would be plot points that I would change, but the things that I enjoyed most were the lighter scenes, right? The scenes with characters that when we weren't quote unquote hunting down the job and just hanging out with each other. There was a lot of that with Luna Velez, when, you know, walking on the beach, just chatting with each other, fucking with each other. There was some scenes like that with, you know, when she was a rookie cop. Yeah, just the relationship stuff. I would like to have had more fun. Those wasn't always fun, you know what I'm saying?
Well, also, I would love to have had more scenes with Rita and her character. I know there was one in the beach that we had, but I wish there would have been more of a connection with the other characters with Rita. I think it would have just, you know, enriched the story that much.
Good stuff. All right, where's our next question at?
Hi, I'm Brenda, and this is just a simple question, but I want to know how many different hats did Batista wear throughout the seasons?
I want to know too.
Well, I took about 20, so there was a lot more than that. Yeah, it was every episode there was a new hat. You know, so what were there, about 100 episodes, and I think it was 100 new hats. So yeah, and I love some more than others, but they were all pretty cool. They're all pretty nice. So.
Good stuff. All right, Steph's over here. What's the question we got?
Hello. There's a lot of like popular fan theories online. My favorite one is people speculating whether Quinn or Lundy knew about Dexter. I was wondering if you guys have any theories that you were really fond of that you've seen online.
Oh, honestly, you guys remember more of it than I do. Like a lot of times I'm like when people start to be like, it was obviously self, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? And I was like, what is that? And they were like, that's the part where you kind of look the other way when Dexter is killing somebody. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. You know what I mean? Like, do I have any favorite? Honestly, it's just interesting, like some of the theories you guys come up with, and I'm like, or, you know, to me, reading it, I don't speak very well, sorry. But yeah, what was an answer? I don't have an answer for you, dude, sorry.
Okay, so Steph, hold the next question. I've got a question here for David. So, Steph and I, our good friend Richard, when we said that there was going to be a Dexter panel, the dude absolutely lost it. He is a huge Dexter file. He's like, oh man, this, that. He's like, you could ask him this, you could ask him that, but he had a question he wanted to ask you in particular. So Richard's question is that He wants to know, do you think Batista would have won the fight with Dexter had Prater not intervened and shot you?
Well, I mean, he was choking him out, right? I mean, it was. I don't know. I mean, anything could have happened after, if I wouldn't have gotten shot 17 times in the back. But yeah, no, I think the rage of Batista, sometimes rage gives you strength that, you don't think you have. And there was a rage there. Like, I try to picture myself, like, why would Batista react after he was cut loose? He doesn't really know what's going on. It's a panic. When you're on a table getting ready to get killed, panic goes through you. If not, you're not here. So I think I raged, and so yeah, maybe I think there was the whole idea was that I had took him and was choking him out. And I'm a bigger guy. It's not far-fetched that he could have killed Dexter if he would have continued without being stopped.
And you work out.
And I work out, even though I broke a rib.
All right, good stuff. All right, where's our next question at?
All right, my question is for Jennifer. All right, through 8 seasons of Dexter and the 1 season of New Blood, how many times do you think you said, fuck?
Well, I counted. Something like 900.
Wow.
Is that right? 906? 996? God, why didn't they give me 4 more? I could have gotten to 1,000. Well, if you consider that you do like 4 or 5 takes of every scene, I mean, I've done it. I've said thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of cuss words.
You really had some of the best. I mean, I was telling Jennifer earlier,
I was going to tell it too.
I still to this day, at least twice a day, think of Beef Bus. Do you remember that? Beef
Season
Bus?
1?
Season 1, the really big guy. Oh.
For the diehards, Beef Bus.
Yeah.
I watched season 1 and 2 this summer, actually. But to watch them because back in the day, it's choppy and really extreme shit. You guys did a great job, by the way. I just want to say that.
All right, where's our next question?
So I know Jennifer said she read the books, but I don't know about the rest of you guys. If you guys have read the books, how do you feel about the show taking a different turn than in the books?
So I read the first book. We were told we could read the first book because they owned the rights to the first book and the characters. But then after that, we were told that the story goes off in a different direction. I have heard in the books that Rita is still alive or lived longer than TV Rita. So, but I haven't. I should pick up the books and read them.
Well, Batista wasn't even a detective in the book. He was a forensic analyst with Masuka. And he wasn't mentioned that much in the following 2 books after that. So I'm glad they veered in a different direction. And they made that character detective, and they made him a police officer. And I think that, they bought the characters, they didn't buy the stories. And I think the characters and the description that Jeff Lindsay wrote for each character, they were pretty faithful about. But yeah, they didn't, it just, I don't know how many books were there, like 10 or something like that? I only read like the first 3.
All right, so I think we have time for about one more question. I know that there's a bunch of you out there that have your hands up, and I apologize in advance that we didn't get a chance to get to you, but obviously for the constraints of time and people having photo ops and different things they need to do, we only have a certain amount of time for the panel. That being said, do not hesitate to go to their tables and go make sure that those questions that you needed to ask get asked of them at their tables because they've got stuff over there. You can get selfies and signatures and all that, so don't hesitate. They want to answer these questions, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes, emphatically.
Yes.
All right, so Steph, where is our, we got time for 2 questions left. 2 questions left, so Steph, where's our next question?
This kind of piggybacks off of what he just asked about how many times you've said fuck. I was gonna ask, what's your favorite iteration of it? Or, like Julie said, one of your favorite, like, crazy, curse-wordy phrases that Deb said.
One thing that I really like that she said doesn't involve cursing, so we'll get there. But I love how she said the password. Well, it does. It's the password is fucking password. I like that. And then, you know, the chubby chase, the chubby face, roly-poly machine was fun. Yeah, they were all fun. And when you need to cuss, you need to cuss. And I got to exercise that a lot for pay.
All right, so we got time for one more question again. If your question doesn't get asked, totally apologize, but you understand the limitations of time and how many questions could possibly get answered in a 45-minute span. So where is our final question of Saturday? This question is going to be the greatest question in the history of questions, the best question asked, Scaradise Saturday, no pressure. Where are you at? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Timmy, and my question is, when all of you guys met, what was like the first thing you guys said?
It's a good one.
So how were you guys introduced to each other?
I remember in the pilot, everybody being in the room, and I just looked around and said, we are going to have some fun. And because, you know, the one thing as an actor is, a show like this, it's really a family. You know, and to be able to play on screen with your family, and it really meant a lot. So I remember telling everybody, every time I met somebody for the first time, I said, I'm so looking forward to working with you. We are going to have fun. And we did.
I didn't think the show would go because it was a show about a serial killer. So I was shooting the pilot, just having a good time and trying to make the most of it, thinking that that was going to be it. So I was kind of shocked when we got to do it.
I remember we had fun shooting the pilot. We went out a lot, had some tequila. Yeah.
You know, when we're shooting a pilot, we obviously, like Jennifer said, we never know what's going to happen. And I can't tell you the first words, but I can tell you the feeling that I had, that we were always rooting for each other. We're always looking out for each other and always rooting for each other.
I think that was a great question.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job.
Great job, Timmy.
All right, so you guys know what needs to happen. If you guys haven't seen what happens at Scaradise at the end of a panel, because it's a horror convention, we have to work to summon the show photographer. We're gonna do our best job to summon him because we're gonna take a picture with us, with all these fine people. So on the count of 3, we're gonna summon him. His name is Corey. So on the count of 3, everybody use your best scary voice. 1, 2, 3. Corey! Corey! Oh! You guys are 3 for 3. Look at what you did. Here we go. All right, everybody. I want to make sure you guys give a huge round of applause. We're going to go around. No, we didn't see that. We didn't see it. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you all for coming here. Hello. Thank you all for coming here and you know, sitting in these chairs, waiting for us to come. All of that. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching it.
Without further ado, a big round of applause for Jennifer Carpenter, Julie Benz, Desmond Harrington, Devin Sayers, and Eric King from Dexter!
Thank you for keeping us alive for 19 motherfucking years.